everyone. My name is Ideal. I have my amazing husband that just performed, the beautiful sister Latanya, Renee French.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the YanBar Podcast. Bryan Barcelo hosted this episode. Today's guest, Ideal Masterpiece. Now, the thing is, most of our podcast, this episode is probably going to be taken up on introducing her because Ideal has a lot of talent. First of all, Ideal is a recording artist, a poet, songwriter, singer, actress, dancer, model, speaker. Ideal, before we go any further, that's a lot. First of all, thank you for joining the podcast.
Oh my God, my pleasure. I'm so happy to be here.
I appreciate it. Oh, and another thing, congratulations on your performance Sunday. It was spectacular. Loved it.
Oh, I had so much fun.
It's excellent. Now, before we go any further, how can people find you to book you?
Okay, so you can actually find me to book me in a couple different ways. So obviously, before we even speak about social media, the old school way phone number, and that's area code 518-414-4821. That's my phone number. And I also have a Facebook. You literally just type in Ideal Masterpiece, IDEAL, just like on the screen, space masterpiece, MASTERPIECE. So that's on Facebook. I also can be reached on Instagram. I have two business pages. Well, one's kind of like more personal, the other one's more business. So I'll give you the business page. And that's Energy Channel. So that's INNERGYCHANNEL, Energy Channel. And then my personal Instagram page, which is EAT underscore ideals, IDEALZ underscore cookie, COOKIE. So E underscore ideals underscore cookie.
I hope everybody got that. And we'll put on all the links and stuff in the description also.
Yes.
All right. You know what? Let's cut to the chase because we have a lot to cover. Check this out. First of all, let's start off with where you from? How'd you get started in this?
Yes. So I was born in Albany, New York, the capital. Woo, woo, woo. A lot of people who had never visited New York or don't know much about New York, they think that the capital is New York City, Manhattan, but it's not. Albany is the capital, so that's exactly where I was born. But I did majority of my life, I've actually lived in the great state of North Carolina. Oh. And North Carolina, the capital there. So I've only lived in two states. Both happens to be the capital. So in North Carolina, I was living in Raleigh, where I actually graduated from college. And so I have a law degree. I'm a paralegal. So not an attorney. No, I do not give legal advice. Got to say that. But I do assist with documents, and I'm able to actually come up with determination summaries about why, maybe a specific attorney or law enforcement agency may have came up with their actual summary. So I would just kind of like dissect and research. What I do with law is dissect and research, go through all of the laws, figure out, do my research on why the law is, kind of compare law that has been set into stone for like years upon years upon years, and kind of draw that same old English law into kind of what's going on now. So that's exactly what I did in the South, North Carolina. So I actually went to middle school, high school, and college in North Carolina. And I'm like, hey, well, I was born in Albany. I'd love to just really start my career as an artist in the great state of New York. I feel like there's no other place to start your real artistry. And before, when it comes to anything else, the state of New York is the best state, in my opinion.
That's what's up. You know what? Matter of fact, when I was going over your talents here, I think I'm gonna have to add another one on here. This paralegal. Let's get that one in there. Right.
Yes, ever since 2013.
Wow.
So about 10 years.
Now check this out.
Yes.
According to notes here, seems that you have an upcoming book. Care to
Oh,
talk
yes.
about that?
Yes, I have an upcoming book, which I am extremely ecstatic about. This book is going to be, I know for sure, a bestseller. Some people are asking, oh, what's the name of it? Can't tell anyone. Can't tell you the name. You'll know the name when it's actually dropped and featured this summer 2023. But it is speaking about my trauma. I'm very open about my trauma and things that I've recently went through with my trauma. And one of the ways I was able to really, truly get through it and deal with it is through writing. And so, ever since a young girl, I've always wanted to write. I've always been very, very great at reading, writing, researching, which makes sense why I'm a paralegal. But I've always wanted to do that. And I've always thought like the idea of writing a book was super cool. But then when, I started to go through my trauma and things of that nature, that was my only therapy. I would look up different ways, just literally Google, like, how do you deal with trauma? What is the best way to do it? And some of the different things was like, it listed on Google, like exercise, which is totally true. That really, 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 really helps if you're just like stressed, depressed, or just going through some really ups and downs. And then another one I see was like writing in a journal. So, I just took the time, I began writing my inside of a journal. And in my journal it says always forever busy, so that's what I've been writing in. And so starting that book was, like I said, was just last year, and it's just a phenomenal piece. A part of healing through my trauma is literally getting the book out there. And I know the things that I've been through, other people have been through it as well, maybe similar, maybe a little bit worse, maybe a little less worse. But it's the reason that I'm putting out this book is to heal other people. That's my inspiration with my writings, whether it be my book, whether it be my poetry, whether it be music. This past what was it, last weekend, I did a show, and one of the young ladies came up to me and was like, oh my goodness, like your music made me happy. It made me smile. It made me cry. I was a little angry. So that's all to say that my music, my poetry, my writing, it does evoke a very different type of emotional catharsis, which I'm very, very proud of. I want to heal other people, because as I'm healing other people, in turn, I'm healing myself.
Mm-hmm. That's what's up. Now, also look at here, you have this is called an inclusive support group, Ideals Inclusive Support Group. Now, it seemed that was just launched also. Can you talk to us a little bit about that, please?
Oh, yes. So when it came to Ideals Inclusive Support Group, what it is, that also was, based off of just needing support. I feel like regular therapy is good, but sometimes I've heard different things about, regular therapy. When I say regular therapy, like going to like a licensed therapist, some people don't really get what they want out of it, or maybe they're they're very expensive, so a lot of people cannot actually afford them.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are more so concerned on like providing for their children, paying day-to-day bills, and they're still like almost going to go off the deep end because they know that they need therapy and they just can't simply afford it. So with going through my trials, my trauma, my tribulations, I was like, you know what? I can get together a group where women can come together and connect. And, right now it's women. I know we'll branch off into, men as well. But right now, I just wanted to start it with the women. I feel like, as definitely as a Black woman, carrying children, bringing forth children, we don't get as much support. We don't get as much support. And so I came up with this beautiful group, and it's taken me over a year to do so. I had to get all my ideas together and bring it forth. But I've literally just birthed this forth about 2 to 3 days ago, just getting women together, and the type of things that we're going to be speaking on. We're going to be doing some visual art activities. We're going to be doing some travel trips. Also trauma support. So in no way am I saying I'm a licensed therapist, because I am not. But it's literally just getting a support group together and just saying, listen, girl, I'm here for you. Listen, here's some resources that I can give you. Okay, you got that resource for me? Okay, well, let's go ahead and collaborate. Let's get together. Let's eat some food. Let's really just kind of share ideas. And that's where it was birthed from, again, through my trauma. So my writings are coming through my trauma. My poetry is through trauma and trials and tribulations. my support group, because we need each other. It doesn't matter how far up we may get, how much money we may make, we still need each other in some way, shape, form, or fashion. So this group is for, women, inclusive women, to just come together and just let it all hang out. Let the boogers come out the nose. Let the crying just fall from your eyes. And just a lot of people, they deal with so many mental health issues that we don't talk about it enough. I feel like in the Black community, it's kind of just like, oh, okay, well, brush it up under the rug, but people are taking their lives doing that. They're taking their own lives. And I can't be everyone's savior, but I put myself out there to help other women, because in turn they're helping me. And the women birth the families, right? So the man plants the seed, but the women births the families. So in essence, it will branch out to like a family community type support group. But I had to start off with the women. This is what we're starting off with.
Understood. The lot of things that you described, it seems like you're actually coming back to the roots. Like when I'm thinking, how you had therapists, it seems like
Yes.
back in the days, a therapist was a friend. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
these other things, kind of like a babysitter, daycare was a parent or grandparent or something,
Yes.
and we seem
Wow.
to got away from that. But it seems like what you're doing is getting back to the roots, where instead of going to a professional or something like that, people, friends, a community helps, heal one another. I think that's a great idea. Another thing, going backwards a little bit, the song that you performed Sunday, Breakthrough, I think in that song, if I'm not mistaken, I think you were saying, you're talking about the something that happened in your life. The word that you use is escaping me right now, but I know it just came, the trauma, I think, of what you're saying. Could you be specific, or would you rather not be specific? And I think
I can be
another thing,
real.
I think we have to be careful with certain words
Sure.
because of censorship and all of that stuff. But
Okay.
if it's pertaining to women, is that what it is? I mean,
Yes. Yes.
okay,
Yes.
yeah. I think people use the word grape, a fruit or something, because I think you can't say the word like on YouTube or something. But that's what we're talking about.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Oh my
So we
goodness.
just to kind of expound upon breakthrough, and I'm going to be careful with my words. So specifically for my story, about 10 months ago, Cinco de Mayo yesterday, yesterday made exactly 10 months. So specifically with my story, I was actually pregnant with twins only 10 months ago, pregnant with two beautiful boys, two just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful boys. Had so, even through ultrasound, you could see they had so much personality together. I mean, I would see them nudge each other. One elbow would nudge the other one's bum, and they were just really just meant to be birthed together. And so during this time, I pregnancy was going absolutely great. About at 22 weeks gestation, 22 weeks, 2 days, so my babies were fraternal. Fraternal means each each child inside of you has their own amniotic sac. And so each baby had their own amniotic sac. And for those of you who don't know, baby A is considered the baby located closest to your cervix. Baby B is considered the baby that's a little bit more further from your cervix. When it comes to baby A, his name is effusive. When it came to baby A, his amniotic sac, it actually popped too soon. It only when I say popped, I literally had amniotic fluid coming out of my
Understood.
that.
Whoever could, yeah.
So yeah, so it was literally just coming out like any woman who has their water break.
Right.
It's supposed to leak out that way. Same way the baby was implanted in you is the same way the amniotic fluid flows out. So this particular time, I'm 22 weeks 2 days. That is extremely too soon. A full gestational period is anywhere between 38 and 40 weeks. So just imagine I'm only halfway through my pregnancy and the baby's bag is already draining. So during this time, I've had other children. So I was like, oh my God, I'm definitely not urinating on myself. This is amniotic fluid. So I go to the doctor the hospital, and they're like, you know what? You're way too soon. And we can only, if you were to give birth, we can only save your baby or try, not save, but try, attempt to save your baby at 23 weeks. So I'm like, oh, you tell me if I was to actually give birth right now at 22 weeks and 2 days that he couldn't survive. So they're like, you know what? Yep, that's exactly what we're telling you. So I'm like, I go into prayer. I'm just praying and I'm praying and I'm praying. I'm like, goodness gracious, this wasn't supposed to happen. You know, Mind you, during this time, the other baby's completely fine. None of his bag didn't drain out, anything like that. So upon what they have told me, I was supposed to give birth because this has happened to many women. It's called prom, pre-rupture of membranes. So I was supposed to give birth anywhere between 24 hours of my bag popping and 7 days, no more than 7 days. I'm going to tell y'all, I held my baby for 5 weeks and 5 days. So I was a miracle. During that time, I asked my doctor, I'm like, when should we deliver this, the baby? I said, I'm in premature labor, all right? He's like, no, you're not in premature labor. So I'm like, you know what? That doesn't sound right. So he pretty much refused to, during this time, I was supposed to be delivered. I had already made it to 23 weeks if I made it 5 weeks after. So I made it to 27 weeks and 5 days. And during that 5 week period, even after what had happened to me, they refused to deliver him. So he delivered himself. And when I say that, I mean my umbilical cord or his umbilical cord, baby A, effusive, came out of my vagina right in the shower. And at that time, the baby can't survive without that umbilical cord. And so when that came out of my vagina, at that point, he was gone. He was gone. And so I'm like, oh my God. And so I go right across the street to the hospital. And, they put the sonogram on. They're like, you know what? We're sorry to say one of your babies has passed away. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to say. I was grabbing for a Bible. I just, because that's the way I was raised. I was like, oh my God, maybe a Bible can make him come alive. And so during this time, I felt like, you know what? They don't know what they're talking about. I had so much faith, so much faith. I'm like, you know what? When I get in that delivery room, I know his heart is going to be beating. He's going to be fine. And in turn, I had always dreamt of having twins. And at that time, I just lost one of my babies. Now, I am very grateful because there's so many women out here that are pregnant, right? And they go home with empty arms. They have no baby. He's considered a stillbirth. A stillbirth after 20 something week, a birth with a baby that didn't live after about 20 weeks is called a stillbirth. A baby that didn't live before 20 weeks is called a miscarriage. So I had a stillbirth. During that full 5 weeks, they had 5 full weeks to deliver him, 5 weeks and 5 days, and I didn't do that. And looking into just the rates, when I say the rates, the mortality rates of the maternal mortality rates of Black women, a lot of Black women, this has been happening for years upon years, even before I was born, they see you bringing forth your beautiful Black baby. They either take away your life as the mother or they take away the baby's life. And that's what has just happened to me 10 months ago. So all of this artistry that has been birthed out has been from trying to get my message out there. There's so many ladies that maybe cannot even articulate or communicate, and I'm their voice. And so, summing this up, breakthrough came through that. That performance came through my story. That's my full story.
Well, thank you for sharing that. Sorry if it caused any distress, but
no, not at all. If anything, this is healing. This is therapy to speak about it.
Okay.
Definitely.
I appreciate that. Let's go on. You got a lot of stuff to cover here. Let me see. What else you got going on? Oh, and you alluded to this. You host, it says we host paint parties.
Like that. Okay. Yes.
Yeah, let's go with that. And from that, I believe that you were also published in ABC News 10. That's it.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
That's nice.
This is Sensory Touch and Feel Therapeutic Interactive Museum Masterpieces.
Yeah, that was a mouthful. I was getting to that one. The therapeutic, sensory, tactile art.
Yes.
Wow. Try to say that 3 times fast. Now, this got something to do with touching. That's tactile, right?
Oh, yes.
Explain that, please. What's going on with that?
So
Yeah.
what's going on here, you can touch and feel, obviously, and it is meant to release any mental pain, anxiety, depression, maybe pain that you even haven't self-identified with. And so it is all of the art. And when I say we, it's my husband and I and our children. All the art that we create is vibrant. All the colors, we don't create any dark art, obviously, because it's emotion. Like we want to bring your emotions higher.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna show you another one here. And it doesn't do, it's so crazy.
Ooh.
Video and pictures does not do any justice.
Understood.
It's so it comes right. So this is beyond a painting, as you can see. This is beyond a painting. It just releases like a road rage, office tension, anything that you may be going through that you want to kind of change your emotions about. That's the type of art that we are known for, as creating that therapeutic art. So we actually host paint parties, and it's been an absolute great experience.
I seen some video of one of them that you hosted, and if you have another one, please let me know, because that looks incredibly fun. The place that you were at, you mind giving them a shout out?
Yes. So we actually recently did two. One was in the February. And when I say the owners treated us like royalty, my God, I tell you, you put out those good vibrations, they come back. I want to give a shout out to Tropics 518 in Schenectady, New York. We worked hand in hand with the beautiful Mavis. It's a power couple. They're married, husband and wife, that actually own Tropics 518. And listen, we're not going to even get started about that food over there. Woo! I had a 24-hour sizzled. Oh my goodness, it was cooked, it was seared and cooked overnight, 24-hour lamb with some French fries. Oh my God. It was so good. So that, right? Oh my God. So Tropics 518 here in Schenectady, New York. The next one that I showed you videos of is the Lionheart Pub and Brewery here out in Albany, New York, and Madison Avenue. Just did that actually last Saturday. That was an absolute blast. You know, we had our own very own creative sensory therapeutic art there to give everyone inspiration. And we're not your average paint and sip. We do paint and coffee, paint and donuts, paint and tea, paint and love, paint and peace. And when I say we're not your average paint and sip, normally with regular paint and sip, you get like everyone, let's just say it's a hummingbird. Everyone gets a sketch of a hummingbird or a sketch of a tiger or a sketch of a car. And everyone's just kind of using their own thoughts and putting their own colors into the same exact image. But what we actually present is a blank canvas. So it forces you to be the more creative. So we're not giving you any type of scripting, any type of sketches. You literally have to be creative. We give you a completely blank canvas. We provide the easels, the paints. I mean, it's just an incredible experience just to kind of see people light up and say, wow, you know. And when we did it at Lionheart, people weren't expecting it. They had no idea. The owner's great. Shout out to John, the owner at Lionheart Pub and Brewery. The owner was absolutely amazing with allowing us to, you know, just get out there. It was something Tropics 518 and Lionheart Pub and Brewery, they never had any type of paint, anything. So we are known to be like the ground steppers into birthing something new, something creative, and something positive.
I would say so. Looking on, judging from the video, you can see their happy faces. The people were really enjoying what they were doing. I mean, it came through the screen at me. It's like,
yes,
I gotta try that.
That's vibrant. And not just their faces, their bodies, right? Yes.
Let me see. There's something else. The artist part we got, the poet, I think on Breakthrough shares a little bit of that. Songwriting, singing, actress. Has it the actress part? Have you done any work, any plays, any movies that we could check out, or videos perhaps?
So I'm actually, what I did in the past is I've did like, you know, small skits with my family and my husband. But at this time, we're actually just working on getting a group together of like-minded individuals to get some movies out. So to answer your question, right now, I just have small skits and things that I can kind of send you. You can also see in our Instagram. But as far as the movies, we are in the process of working on that, getting our cast together. So if anybody out there, even if you've never acted at all. You have my contact information. You? Woo! Let's get it started. Like, we need more of a community right now, which I'm so happy to you. And thank you, Bryan, for having us on your podcast. We're
You're
working
welcome.
on getting a community of people, of like-minded individuals, where we can actually do these projects together. So we're actually scouting for people who would be open to doing some movies and
Me,
releasing it like
definitely.
this year.
Oh, really? This year?
This
Wow,
year,
that's
most definitely.
ambitious. Matter of fact,
Yes.
we're getting down to it. What I'm gonna do, it just so happens to actually have a movie that I'm trying to get people to make also. I'll send it to you. Perhaps somewhere down the road we can work on it after we get yours taken care of.
Oh, I love
All
that.
right. Now we're getting down to it. I just got that notification. So,
Okay.
as customary with this podcast, I like to give the guests last word. Leave us with anything you want. Words of wisdom, just some
Sure.
thoughts, anything. You got the floor.
Okay, so yes, I forgot to mention that I actually do have a 2023 summer album dropping. So not done with all of the songs at all, but the songs are just coming powerful and full force. So I want everyone to not only be looking out for the release of my book this summer 2023, but please be looking out for the release of my album this summer 2023. What I wanted to leave everyone with is, no matter what you want to do is still just believe in yourself. I went to this conference. It was for people who wanted to be, kind of be in law enforcement and kind of instead of looking at law enforcement as all bad, I was able to meet well over 100 law enforcement. And one of the speakers had said, listen, that negative person or that negative image in your mind that's telling you, no, 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 you can't do it, you can't do it, that person is a liar. So I want everyone to know that I'm going to take exactly what this young lady said. She was beautiful and she was so articulate and she had made it so far in her career. So just being around people who have made it so far in their career, I just want to use the same words she said. That person, that image, that character, maybe it's someone who has told you weren't being nothing, in life. That person, that thing, that character, that object is a liar. You can make it no matter what. If you're worrying about people judging you or judging like your freedom of expression, if you're not having a freedom of expression, you will get judged. If you are having a freedom of expression, you will get judged. Either way, people are going to judge you. People are going to have all types of issues, making frowns in their faces and talking behind your back, in front of your back. You got to ignore all that because we're here. I won't say life is short. We're here for a set amount of time. And in that set amount of time, you need to accomplish exactly what you want to do. And summing it up, I have a friend of mine that says, wow, you're almost done with your book. People tell me I need to write a book. Like, well, what do I do? What do I do? I said, listen, you go to the dollar store. It'll cost, including tax, $1.35 for a notebook. Start writing in your notebook. And another thing is, don't worry about writing while editing. If you write while you're trying to edit at the same time, it won't be a free expression. You edit when you're done. Write whatever comes to your mind. So again, to sum everything up, be free, be open, be honest with yourself, and stop listening to those negative, bad characters, objects, people in your mind, childhood trauma, anything. I remember even being bullied at work before. And thank God now I work from home. It's a lot of things you don't have to deal with working from home. So I just want to say, those people can stay in your mind. They're actually meant to stay in your mind. That's exactly why they tell you those mean words, but they're a liar. These people, these objects, these things, they're liars. And I want everyone to just push forth and break through and be the best that you can be. And I'd like to leave off with that.
I
Thank you
appreciate
so much,
that.
Bryan.
You're welcome. And I received that message, as do many other people out there, I'm sure. And check this out.
Yes.
One of your other things that you do said speaker, and you
Yes.
just demonstrated that you're an excellent speaker. And may I suggest that you consider adding something else to what you do? A podcaster.
Please.
A podcaster.
Oh my God.
Consider it. So I think you'd be great.
You're going to have to help me with that because I've always wanted to do radio and podcasting. That's what I mean by having that community. You need that push. You need people who are already doing it. So you have more of a oomph to do it.
Well, you got it. Here you go.
I'm going to need your help, Bryan, and I'm going to receive that. Okay. Yes.
That's what's up. One moment, please. I'm gonna say goodbye to everybody.
Yes.
Everybody, thank you for joining the YanBar Podcast, end of another episode. I'd like to remind you guys to check out our previous YanBar Podcast guests and to always remember that the YanBar Podcast is the place where you make it happen. Once again, my name is Bryan Barcelo, host of this episode, here with Ideal Masterpiece. Ideal, we appreciate you so much. Peace, everybody. Until next time. Thank you so much.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ideal. I have my amazing husband that just performed, the beautiful sister Latanya, Renee French.